In Minnesota, 2 police officers and a firefighter are tragically killed while responding to a domestic violence incident. In Wisconsin, a mother is found dead in a crashed car and a woman is charged in her murder. And there's an update surrounding the shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade. These stories and more coming at you today, Wednesday, February 21st on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And he's back. And I'm Mike Agavino. He looks good, folks.
With the boys.
He looks good. Right. I think he might have done one of those cryo treatments or something.
I need to put some weight on my skinny ass treatment. My pants are falling off.
Actually, I found out that Woody had taken, instead of waiting for the board to take action, had gone and aggressively attacked the board and taken some action of his own, Jim.
That's right. I told y'all a board, B-O-R-E-D.
Well, so today's show's going to be a little different because of that. Let's see if you all figure out what it is.
Well, let's get into some true crime time for Hump Day, Wednesday.
And we are going to Minnesota in a really sad, tragic story that we're going to start off with today. A community is mourning after 2 police officers and a firefighter were fatally shot in Burnsville, Minnesota, while responding to a domestic violence call. And you say it all the time, Woody. That's the worst one.
Dangerous calls there are, because the emotions are so high, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, officials have identified the 3 men as officers Paul Elmstrad and Matthew Rouge, both 27 years old, and 40-year-old firefighter / paramedic Adam Finseth. We're hurting. 3 members of the team made the ultimate sacrifice for this community, that from the police chief, Tanya Schwartz. They are heroes. Officials have responded around 1:50 a.m. to a home in Burnsville, about 15 miles south of Minneapolis, where a man was reported to be armed and barricaded inside with family members. At some point, the subject inside opened fire. At least one of the responders was killed inside the home, and several officers returned fire. The suspect was identified as Shannon Gooden, 38. He had several guns and a large amount of ammunition, and he died in the incident. 7 children who were inside the home, ages 2 to 15, were able to leave and are safe.
Wow.
The medical examiner's office on Monday said all 3 first responders' deaths were ruled a homicide. Medical examiner reports say Elmstrad was shot multiple times, Rouge was hit in the chest, and Finseth had a gunshot wound to his right arm and torso. Another officer, Sergeant Adam Medlicott, was injured and hospitalized. He's believed to have non-life-threatening injuries. The death of Elmstrad and Rouge while on the job make them the 17th and 18th law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty so far this year, just January and February.
That's crazy.
We must never take for granted the bravery and sacrifices of our first responders, that from the Minnesota governor. Today, the families of these public servants received a call they knew was possible but hoped would never come. So I thought it was important to give you kind of a look at these first responders that tragically passed away. Paul Elmstrad, or tragically murdered.
Right.
Paul Elmstrad, 27, joined the Burnsville police force in 2017 as a community service officer. He was promoted to officer about 2 years later and was a member of the Mobile Command Staff Peer Team, Honor Guard, and Field Training Unit. Wow. His wife, Cindy, he was married. They went to school together since kindergarten. They started dating in high school and eventually got married and had 2 children. He had a 5-month-old and 2-year-old. Ugh.
Crazy.
He was the most generous, loving, patient person I've ever known. He could have a conversation with anyone and make them feel seen. He would drop everything to help someone who was in need, whether it be family, friends, or someone off the street. And then we're going to tell you about Matthew Rouge. He was 27 also, and had been a member of the police department since 2020. He served in its crisis negotiations team and was a physical evidence officer. And a former neighbor said she was not at all surprised he became a police officer because he was all about doing nice things for people. When her father was dying, Rouge spent time with them. Unfortunately, his life was cut short, she said, because he was a first-rate person. And lastly, Adam Finseth, who was 40. Finseth had been a firefighter paramedic since 2019 and was assigned to a SWAT team that responded to the incident. Prior to working in Burnsville, Finseth served in several other cities throughout Minnesota, and he will be greatly missed.
Just, you know,
horrible.
It's horrible. And people hear about cops getting killed, and it's just not them and their families. You know, that everybody wears a badge. It's like being in a foxhole with someone. You can't put you're closer to them, sadly to say, than probably you are your family.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember Brother Pete Charlet telling me when I started, keep at least one friend that's not a cop to keep you grounded, because you're gonna hang out. Your family's gonna hang out together, cops, because you're the only ones that get each other. You know.
Yeah.
But every day you put on that gun belt, that badge, and you go out there to try to help people, try to fight crime, make your community a better place. But I can tell you, I never climbed in a unit when 10-8 where I thought, I may not come home tonight.
Yeah.
You don't really think about that, but it happens. You know?
Every day.
It destroys so many people. Everybody that they worked with. That's why I always say prayers for everybody that knew and loved them, and not just their family members, because it could be the grocery store clerk on the corner where they get their soft drink. You know,
absolutely.
That they befriended over the years or whatever, but that community lost great people, and and the firefighter, being assigned to the SWAT team, that's kind of a standard thing. If it's available, you want a paramedic on your team in case somebody goes down. I don't know what circumstances are there inside the house, and but just it could have been so much worse. 7 kids, but this guy had it on his mind, and he's a piece of shit, and took out 3 heroes and shot and wounded a 4th.
Yeah.
Did you change or evolve over the years on how you treated these kind of, because from the outside it seems like these wouldn't be the most dangerous situations, yet you talk all the time about, hey, these are really dangerous situations.
The reason it's so dangerous is you just don't know, but you're going to be dealing with this person on their worst day, but you don't know if this person's what we call a 103 or a mental case, or if it's just going to be a regular husband and wife fight. There's no such thing as a routine call. Routine calls are the ones that get you killed, because then you become complacent. But I certainly would change every time, you got to just training, like how you approach a door, and you don't stand inside the kill zone, and just it's so many things that you pick up over the years as you go on, especially if you have somebody good to train you, your field training officer, like one of these guys was a field training officer like I used to be, and you try to teach these young guys, and I would tell them, I would say, hey, I hope you took something, one little thing from me, that one night you're going to be on duty and Woody's voice is going to say, don't do that, and it might save your life. Right. But you just don't know, and I've been on situations where you go in, you think everything's going to be calm, and guns get pulled. I mean, you have to be aware. But the thing is it goes back to what we talk about all the time: the lack of respect for human life now, and a lack of respect for law enforcement and these people who are going to do this. I don't get it. And it's just shocking. I hate it for the community. And what did you say, 17 or 19 dead already this year?
Yeah.
Across the country.
Yeah, I believe it was 17.
Well, that was just Minnesota, wasn't it?
That was nationally,
because we're only in
Thank
February.
God.
Yeah. But still, that's a lot. I mean, that's it's 20, and it'll be over 200 and something this year.
Yeah, that's way too much. I mean, one's too much,
and we experienced it here recently. Man,
17th and 18th was what this made.
It's unreal.
Well, let's go to a a scene that was a celebration that turned tragic, and now the aftermath. We're seeing a lot of good come out of a lot of people. For me personally, I've given the whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Brittany Mahomes thing a pretty hard time throughout the NFL season. Right. Not just on this show, on some other things I do. I've given Travis a particularly difficult time. But, sometimes the public goes too far in its admiration for sports stars, turning them into heroes. And they did the same thing with musicians and Hollywood stars. But, in some cases, we see those people step up and rise to the occasion and live up to the lofty role model status that right. You want them to have. And so by now we've all heard about the mass shooting that happened at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl celebration last week, but you probably haven't heard all of this, or you probably heard some of it, but I don't think you've heard all of it. Patrick and Brittany Mahomes are offering support to children wounded during the KC Chiefs victory parade shooting. This happened last Wednesday. Lisa Lopez Galvan, who was a reporter, a news talent in the market, was fatally shot and right. killed. And people have heard her name and are aware of that situation. But there were 23 other people that were shot.
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Most of whom were children. And so the Children's Hospital there and some other hospitals are, basically filled with kids that were, right. Or they were filled with kids as of yesterday. Every single one of them has been released. There's not a kid awesome. Still in the hospital. But two of the young victims, sisters that are 8 and 10 years old who were injured, were actually related to Lopez Galvan, the local DJ who was killed. And the Mahomes went to visit that 8 and 10-year-old. So they visited the two girls at Children's Mercy Hospital last Thursday. The young girl's parents said, "We are avid Chiefs fans and very proud of our home team. Madison and Malia," that's the girls' names, "lives have forever changed since Wednesday's senseless act." Then they went on to explain the profound impact the shooting had on the two girls, as well as the joy brought by Patrick and Brittany Mahomes' visit, which saw the children pose for a bunch of photos that were posted onto social media. In a time where they are traumatized, saddened, and worried, having a surprise appearance from Patrick and Brittany brought the first smile to their faces since the tragedy struck. We want to thank the Mahomes family for being so kind, caring, and loving. But it wasn't just the Mahomes family. On Friday, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce donated $100,000 from his charity to a GoFundMe that was set up for another family. As of last Saturday, the Chiefs and the NFL combined to kick in another $200,000. That's when this hashtag KC Strong was created. Yeah. And over the course of the last week, over $600,000 has been contributed to that KC Strong hashtag. Wow. There are a number of GoFundMes tied to these other families. I guess if we're going to encourage anybody to do anything, there are families that haven't received as much publicity for whatever the reason, that do have GoFundMes that have far less money in them than the one associated with the Galvan family. But KC Strong is a hashtag that is overarching, is holistic, and will address everyone who has been hurt. When you roll everything up, it's over $2 million to date that has been contributed to victims here. So with all of these different GoFundMes and the hashtags, over $2 million has been raised, which is going to help a lot of these families to recover. But it is amazing that we still don't really know much about the shooters. We know they're underage, which is why we don't know their names, but we don't know exactly what happened here, what the intent was. And I think it's going to be important for that to come out for these families.
I think it's awesome that these celebrities step up and the NFL stepping up and everything. I'm going to read you a little something, because this guy is actually from Baton Rouge. He played at Catholic High School, and that's Clyde Edwards Hilaire. All right. And so says the Chiefs Super Bowl rally was wrapping up Wednesday, and it had been a great day for Chris Cotton and his 13-year-old son, Zach. They had cheered for the reigning Super Bowl champion Chiefs and weren't far from the Union stage. Zach got autographs from a handful of former players. The police ran from behind the stage towards the shooter, and when they cleared, we went into the building, Chris Cotton recalled in a photo interview. Nobody was really actually sure if it was gunshots or if it was fireworks. Cotton estimated there were a few hundred people in Union Station, including the Chiefs players, coaches, and staff. Inside the Union Station, it seemed to be the safest place Cotton and his son could be. Cotton went to the bathroom. When he came out, any sense of calm he had felt had evaporated. He said, I was about halfway back to the lobby, and then somebody yelled, shooter, and everybody just started running towards the exits, towards where the trains were. And in the chaos, Zach Cotton wasn't sure what to do or where to go. I didn't know what was happening, Zach said. I was in the building and somebody yelled shooter, so everybody started running. I didn't know where to go, so I ran behind the curtains where the players were. I started exiting all of them, and then I didn't know where to go. Well, fortunately, a woman took Zach to an area behind the Union Station where the team buses were located. That's when Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Hilaire, who's from Baton Rouge, y'all, he played for Catholic High, said Clyde was trying to tell her to get on a bus. And then Clyde ran to me and put me in the back of a box truck, and the other girl was looking after me, Zach said, just waiting till everything was clear. And he was telling me to calm down, that everything was going to be okay. And at that point, Chris Cotton was still in the dad was still in the Union Station, frantically looking for his son. And he called Zach's phone and hoped there wouldn't be any cell disruption because of the size of the crowd. And fortunately, Zach picked up right away. Naturally, he was upset and scared, but he was able to say that he was by the buses behind the Union Station. And anyway, that Dad got on the phone with Clyde Hilaire, and he said, hey, I have your son. He's safe. He's not in harm's way. And then it just goes on and on about it. The SWAT team coming in and clearing, but heroes, right?
Yeah, totally.
The team was in the middle of this tragedy.
They could have left that kid out there in the shoot. So there's going to be so many more. It's so great that they showed up at the hospital and doing all that, and they're raising all that money. But the true heroes, most of them will never be known. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And Elaire, proud resident of Livingston Parish.
Is he?
Yes, he
is. He played for Catholic, though, didn't he? I didn't know.
He did. He grew up in Baton Rouge.
Shout out to you, sir. I caught that
resident
yesterday when I was scrolling to the news, and I thought, well, that's pretty.
I'm glad you brought that up, because money's one thing.
Yeah.
But
well, you know what?
The heroes were there in the same exact spot as their fans when all of this broke out, and they weren't running for the exits and running away from the trouble. They were trying to help anybody they saw that they could help.
It's pretty crazy.
100%.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something. All the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. Hey ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
Let's go to Riverside County,
California?
California.
California.
You know about Riverside?
The Inland Empire, they call it.
Well,
Because they needed a catchy marketing phrase to try and get people to go out to freaking dry, flat desert.
with a name called Riverside, you would think it
there's
would be
no
beautiful.
there's
No
no-
river,
it's a
no side river.
Dry river bed. Sorry.
It's a ditch.
Sorry.
It's a dry ditch.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the United States Postal Service in Riverside is probably breathing a little bit easier because 2 Riverside County brothers pleaded guilty last week to mail fraud after scamming the United States Postal Service out of more than $2.3 million.
How does that happen?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Anwar Alam, who is 35, and Fahim Alan, who is 31, of Temecula, filed thousands.
That's wine. That's wine country.
Wine country.
Temecula is a little better than being in the dry ditch of Riverside.
Of Riverside.
It's a big county.
Well, they're from Temecula, and they filed thousands of falsified insurance claims on packages in order to make a profit.
Oh, Lord.
They each now face 20 years in prison. From 2016 to 2019, the brothers used fake names and addresses to purchase USPS priority mail packages and postage, and they would get insurance that would cover them for lost or damaged contents. Yeah. They then submitted fraudulent insurance claims saying the packages contained items of higher value than that had been lost or damaged. They would sometimes include fake invoices and even photos of items that were not actually inside those packages. The pair actually cashed in thousands of insurance claim checks.
Yeah, at some points you gotta know.
Yeah, I mean, thousands. How they got away that long is just crazy. Relying on false information and fraudulent claim forms, USPS issued checks to the Alam brothers to cover the purported losses up to $100 in value plus shipping. Together, the brothers maintained about 15 different P.O. boxes in Temecula.
Jeez,
and
a science,
never had a check over $100, but it was $2.3 million total.
Yeah.
So that tells you how many.
Okay, but everything went to their names. They used their real names.
No, they used fake names. And he said they had like 13 different
fake names and addresses.
It was fake names. Okay, I was going to say.
I had involvement in a case like this when somebody shipped something and they had the insurance on it, and then it came up missing, like the package never got there. Probably somebody stole it or whatever.
Yeah.
But they make you provide some shit in the invoices and in whatever photos if you have them, and so these guys evidently had their game.
Yeah.
What year did you say that started?
Well, from 2016 to 2019 was
3 years.
Yeah.
$2.3 million at 100 apiece. I'm not a mathematician, but that's a hell of a lot of packages.
It's 20,300 packages.
Yeah.
If they were all 100.
Insane.
Well, you know what? U.S. Post Office, most people don't know they have their own police, postal inspectors. And,
federal crime, too.
Oh, yeah. They're going to do, if it says 20 years, they're going to do 19 years in 10 months.
Yeah, there ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's 20 a day. If it was a 3-year period, it's about 1,000 days, 20,000 of them. Yeah, so it's like 20 a day.
Of money.
God, what a scam.
2.3 million.
A lot of money.
Well, there you have it.
Sorry, just my wife gets a lot of packages.
Get that, Benny.
Trying to think of something to keep her busy. Yeah, it might be. It's been done before. Let's go to Woody's second home, Wisconsin.
Oh, I love me some Wisconsin. My piece was coming the 7th to 11th. Yeah.
Well, when Wisconsin police found Ashley Ann Kahlo unconscious in her crashed car, the 33-year-old mother was slumped over her steering wheel, and a 3-year-old child was moving around the back seat.
Did it say what part of Wisconsin?
Fond du Lac.
Familiar with that, Woody?
That name. Hold on. I'm going to look it up while you go. Go ahead.
Several local media outlets claim the Fond du Lac Police Department is investigating the death as a homicide. Annika Trudell was arrested Wednesday and charged with first-degree reckless homicide. She's now behind bars at the Fond du Lac County Jail. An unidentified 21-year-old man has also been arrested. He's been charged with harboring or aiding a felon. Police responded to a report of a single car crash just before 6:30 p.m. on Feb 13. Officers determined that Kahlo had crashed into landscaping bricks and that her car had landed on top of some nearby shrubbery. Investigators believe that Kahlo's death is related to another scene at a nearby strip mall, but have provided few details. So nobody really knows how they are connecting her death back to that other scene. While investigators haven't provided many details, her friend Jason Smith agreed to be interviewed by a local website, wearegreenbay.com, and Smith claimed that Kahlo, quote, was stabbed twice, once in the stomach and once in the neck. First responders began performing life-saving efforts at the scene. She was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. Police are still waiting for the Fond du Lac ME to establish, the absolute cause of death.
After autopsy,
The toddler, who is identified as Kahlo's son, was apparently unharmed and is now with family and friends. Kahlo's friend, Holly Ann Zastro, who helped set up a GoFundMe to cover funeral costs and support her young boy, said that her death was tragic and a tragic end to the life of a woman who was the type of person that would be there for you no matter what, and who was the greatest friend one could ask for. She loved her son more than anything in this world. And so just a bizarre...
And am I wrong? You said this dude, Chris Smith, said that she was stabbed twice?
Yes.
And how the hell does he know that?
It's a friend.
That's a good question.
He gave it to some website interview. Oh, she was stabbed in the stomach and stabbed in whatever.
It's her friend Jason Smith who gave that interview.
Going to prison. Yeah.
Gave that interview to We Are Green Bay. But investigators have been hush hush and haven't shared much of any of this. Her 3-year-old was left in the car while she was stabbed twice and killed.
Tragic, horrible story. Almost about hour and a half due east from where I go hang out up there. But the thing is, this dude knows. They said we're waiting on the autopsy naturally, right? And I get that. But this dude already said she was stabbed. Now, he was specific. He was stabbed in the stomach and the chest. Or she was stabbed in the stomach and the chest.
We know how she died. And police have admitted that it's connected to some other incident that happened at a strip mall, but they're not laying out exactly how it's related.
They're getting their ducks in a row about to hammer somebody's ass for that.
So she was apparently trying to get medical attention and just jumped in her car and died before she got there, essentially.
Safe, huh?
That would explain the crash, the crashing the car
blacked out or whatever.
Yeah, somebody can cancel Christmas. They're gonna get them. I hate that for war. And it's horrible.
It really is.
So that's one of those cases where somebody's going to want to have maybe a private autopsy. And
the police got to have an autopsy first, yeah.
well, I was talking to Roy at Parish Forensics the other day, and I was amazed. He told me that they had to actually reduce their emphasis on private autopsies. Any guess why, boys?
I gotta tell you why. Probably is pathologists are like pilots, and their workload and all the autopsies are very closely monitored and managed, and they don't want them doing too much at one time because the accuracy and attention levels, they're afraid they won't be maintained.
Would you have no idea why Jim says you're not that smart? Because that is exactly
Not as smart as
why he said is that they are in such demand that, and there are, I guess, with the licensing that goes on, there are very strict rules about how much work they can be doing.
Okay, first of all, I never said anything like that, Mike.
Yes,
and
you do. Yes, you do.
I'm sure all that's related to the higher murder rates now and the opiate-related deaths the country's experiencing pretty much everywhere.
Right.
I have no idea why Woody says you're not that smart, Jim, because that's
Whatever.
also
Smarter than you
correct.
look.
Remember, many parishes throughout Louisiana and many funeral homes inside and outside of Louisiana rely on parish forensics to provide these essential services.
Yeah, and it is the only privately owned autopsy facility in the state serving coroners and families. And they've been around since 2007. And while the demand for their services is extraordinary, we still encourage you to reach out if you have an urgent need for a private autopsy.
Remember, Roy and the Christians, they have the only facility in Louisiana offering comprehensive services under a single roof. Yep. They professionally handle the autopsy, but they also handle post-autopsy embalming, funeral services, cremation services, and even pet cremations.
Isn't it amazing how we've weaved this sponsorship into this story? But we love doing that for our friends up at Parish Forensics. When it comes to the loss of a loved one, they believe families deserve dignified, reliable aftercare that they can afford. When you lose a loved one or a beloved family pet, go see our friends Roy, Kristen, and Kristen under that big American flag in Broussard. And you guys know what they always say.
Rest easy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and we are going to go to the state of Tennessee.
Tennessee, which part?
Sad story coming out of Tennessee as well. And this is Meigs County. Are you familiar with Meigs County,
I'm gonna have to
Tennessee?
look that one up.
Well, it runs along the Tennessee River, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
I think it's near Knoxville.
Beautiful, beautiful area of the country, but a
Yeah,
sad
you can
story.
go to the Tennessee Vols football game. The one in the stadium is open, and people pull their boats up there to watch it from the river.
Yeah, go Big Orange. So we're going to tell you about a situation involving a Tennessee deputy and a woman he arrested. And this was actually the first arrest for this brand new deputy in Tennessee. Sadly, the bodies of Meigs County Deputy R.J. Leonard and a woman he had arrested were found in the Tennessee River nearly 24 hours after the deputy was last heard from on Valentine's Day, Wednesday, February 14th.
On his very first
First arrest.
Yeah.
So a search began for Meigs County Deputy R.J. Leonard on that Wednesday night after he responded to a call of an incident on a nearby highway bridge. He responded to that scene at 9:48 p.m., and 3 minutes later, he was en route to the county jail with a suspect. Minutes later, a dispatch came in from Leonard that took a while to understand, but Johnson said authorities think he was saying the word water.
Yeah.
Johnson continued that at the very same time, he was also texting his wife. It was my understanding that he sent a one-word text that said arrest. Authorities later learned it had been Leonard's first ever arrest. Wow. He had joined the sheriff's office just 2 months before. Nearly 24 hours later, the sheriff's office confirmed that his body had been found. It was escorted to the Knoxville Regional Medical Examiner's office where the autopsy is being conducted. We would like to ask the community to keep the family in their thoughts and prayers during this very difficult time. That from the sheriff. The woman's identity has not been publicly confirmed as of this story. I will say that she was found in the car, handcuffed, still, submerged and obviously drowned. His window was down. And his body was, so apparently he tried to swim away, but succumbed to drowning.
So when you arrest someone, you call the time, like my unit number is 361. I say 361-259-1015, one white female, and you probably shake them down or whatever and put them in the back seat of the car. When you do that, you call it again anytime you, especially a female, but anytime you transporting someone from one location to other, you'll say 361-259-1019, your location, one white female, beginning mileage is, and you give it in, right? So they're going to be able to go back and track it, and hopefully it wasn't a case where he was texting his wife, arrested, and ran off the road or something into the river.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Sad deal.
It was just a tragic accident. Originally, they were... obviously they're going to look and make sure no foul play was involved somehow. Maybe she got a hold to him and caused the wreck, but all signs are pointing to he just ran into the river.
They didn't say what the charges were or anything, huh?
No, not as of yet.
The crazy thing about that is like down South Livingston Parish when I first started working here and I wasn't from here, and I get calls down along the A-Mead stuff. I'm like, how high did a person be that had to design this road? Because they got all these 90-degree turns and stuff. Well, I wasn't thinking that way back when they built the roads, they just followed the river. So anytime you have a road that runs along a river, it's not a straight shot. There's going to be some pretty sharp turns, and it could have just...
And this was actually a bridge, right? Wasn't it? He was going...
Yes, and the unique situation, well, not necessarily unique, but it was dark. I mean, it was 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
So,
it
just looks like
and you got a new
road.
cop. He probably isn't as familiar with the area. It might not be where he grew up or anything like that. You don't know. But it could also be that there was
another
foul play.
one. That's what's the second one today. I mean, wasn't that third or fourth?
Yeah.
The other ones that got killed.
Third officer.
Well, rest in peace, and I hate that for woman, and I hate that for that lady. But you know what? It's time for some kinky crimes for Wednesday.
For Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Hump Day, kinky crime.
I'll tell you about a little something. We'll go back to, you were talking about the Postal Service earlier. Well, talk about the UPS. United Parcel Service. Right?
Yeah, the brown box.
Yeah, Daryl.
What can Brown do for you?
Drive for him back in the day. So, but look, you strip those packages around all day long, and you get to look like Jim. You get all swallowed up. So, a muscle-bound UPS driver had a group of office workers and the internet positively swooning after jokingly flashing his abs to a doorbell camera.
Come on.
Right? I mean, if you got it, flown it.
That's
Footage of the dash and delivery man showing some skin was shared to TikTok, where it soon became popular and amassed over 5.8 million views and is still growing. Jim, you take your shirt off, boy.
Flash a doorbell.
Well, the plot thickens. The wife's husband said, one day while we were having a package delivered to our home, this gentleman delivered it. He often goes sleeveless as it gets pretty hot out here in summer. Yeah, he just wants to show.
Yeah, that's what it is. He got them guns.
As he stretched out his arm, my doorbell camera sent a snapshot to me, to mine and my wife's Apple Watches to notify of a delivery. When it alerted on her watch, her coworkers beside her saw it illuminate and apparently said, "Wow, what was that?" And she just said, "Oh, that's just our UPS guy." To which coworker said, "My UPS guy doesn't look like that." And after his wife,
them women do that.
After his wife told her husband about the coworker's reaction, her husband decided to have a little fun on the next delivery. A week later, I arrived home early and noticed we still had a package out for delivery, he said, so I made a quick sign. The sign read, "To Jim Chapman." No, it said, to the muscled up UPS driver, My wife's coworkers would love a show on the door cam.
Oh my God.
He pinned the note to his front door and waited, and the plot thickens. But soon after, the same UPS driver arrived to drop off a package. As the resulting footage shows, he quickly saw the note and, laughing at the request, duly obliged his newfound fan base, lifting his shirt to reveal his abs to the camera, right? It was just a joke, Little said. It was never my intention for this video to go viral like it did, but it was quite entertaining. I bet it was. The delivery man returned to his truck to get a camera to take a picture of the sign and
cover his ass.
Right. His request. He returned to the home. He's returned to the home since and even chatted with the husband about the video's popularity. He's a super nice guy, the husband said. Obviously, a bunch of people who knew him sent the video, so he had seen it. He said that it gave him a good laugh to see everyone's responses and comments. And y'all, we're going to post it. This dude, come on, man.
Come on, let's see.
You got to have company policy. You got to wear more clothes than that.
We'll post a picture.
Walk around like He-Man. Like
Yeah. I like that, though. The husband had some good fun with that guy. And
it might have been swingers.
I'm sure our female fan base will enjoy a kinky crime that benefits them for once.
UPS is coming up with a new policy now saying you got to have so many inches of clothing covering your upper torso. I mean, I get it. The dude's swole up, but he has no shirt on.
Yeah, and he's got an OnlyFans account.
Oh,
that's called,
and he's a millionaire.
USPS
He's a millionaire.
Strip Boy, whatever.
There's
it's
your
called.
kinky crimes for Hump Day.
We're going right into a mile high
time.
There's a crazy look. This has busted the internet yesterday. A fist fight broke out on a Southwest Airlines flight. And the passengers involved can face up to a $37,000 fine. Of course, cell phones came out during this incident, and there's video all over the internet. We're going to post it on the Facebook. But two passengers who got in that fist fight on Monday are facing criminal charges of up to $37,000. The incident occurred on board Southwest Flight 1288 en route from Oakland.
Nice town.
You believe they fist fight in Oakland, Mike?
Look, that guy was Apollo Creed, man. He could handle
He
this.
really was.
He threw some couple nice blows.
So from Oakland to Hawaii, and in a video of the incident, a male passenger stands at a window seat with a woman in the middle seat. He slaps the arms of another male passenger standing in the aisle, saying, "Shut the F up." The other passenger retaliates by punching him several times. So that guy obviously wasn't going to put up with that. A flight attendant and other bystanders eventually break the two men up. Another passenger heard yelling, screaming, and punches. He said he turned around and saw one man bleeding and the other man being separated. Frankly, I was a little nervous because we were like at 35,000 feet.
Exactly.
I don't blame him. And you got two guys swinging at each other. The flight crew reported the passenger disturbance to the FAA, obviously. The flight landed in Hawaii at 1:47 p.m. without incident, and the police department officers in Hawaii responded to assist airport security, but no arrest was made because it did not occur in the jurisdiction of Hawaii.
Get the
How
FAA
about that
police,
loophole? We commend our crew and customers for their professionalism in diffusing the situation that from the airline. Now, earlier this month, a JetBlue flight had a similar problem, and passengers had to help restrain another unruly passenger who was behaving erratically and aggressively towards his travel companion. Believe it or not, as of February 11th, the FAA had received 206 reports of unruly passengers for just 2024.
That's like
Bro, what's up
41
with that?
days. Yeah.
Shut the F up generally isn't going to de-escalate things.
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
That's why I used to teach the young guys. You always start out low, but they can be high because then you jump up if you need to. And you shock the shit out of them.
Well, you know how when you get, and this was at 35,000 feet, so this wasn't the case, but I know when a plane lands and everything looking at everybody and they want to jump up and get in that aisle real quick and everybody's grabbing their stuff.
Maybe this guy,
that's a stressful thing, Maybe
this guy had to go to the shitter.
Maybe so, man. But
he slapped him.
Yeah.
And then he punched him.
Yep.
Well, Southwest can be, because of what the boarding process is there, and that you don't have assigned seats. You've got an assigned number that you're getting on the plane at, but sometimes they will let you board from both the front and the back at the same time.
It's chaos.
So you have B20, but you make a run for the back, and you actually get to the middle of the plane to an exit row seat before A30 can get back there because it's much, there's clogged from the front. And that's the kind of stuff. Yeah. I had a guy I worked for years who passed away a couple of years ago. My mentor, a guy by the name of Bob McCurdy, was 6'8". We would take the shuttle to Boston all the time before Amtrak had the fast service Acela that they have now. You used to take either the Trump shuttle. Trump owned a shuttle that went to Boston, or
Did he really?
Yeah, or the Delta shuttle. And we're on the Trump shuttle one day, but we make it. We had a meeting in Boston, and we get to the plane late, and so that was just open seating, and I knew we were going to have shitty seats, but I'm 6 foot, I didn't, whatever, and it's an hour top, 45 minutes in the air. Well, Bob comes in, and the plane is set up like a bus, and so at the very back of the plane, there's a row that goes all the way across, where your legroom for two of the seats is literally the aisle. You have unlimited legroom in front of you. And he looks and he sees that there's a really short guy that's in one of those seats. So Bob walks to the back. I walk to the back with him, and the guy looks up at Bob from down and goes, "Yeah." And Bob goes, "I'm 6'8".
Oh, shit.
And the guy goes, "Congratulations." And I was, I mean,
it means he's not giving
it's going to be really hard for me to be in, one of these middle seats, and, you're not the tallest guy. I thought maybe you'd be willing to give up your seat. And the guy goes, "That's why I got here 45 minutes early so I could have this seat." So all of a sudden Bob's like, you don't have to be a jackass about it. I had to get between the two of them, or we would have had 6'8" on 5'4" in a battle. But it's easy to see where, some little things like that can turn contentious.
You never know who's having a bad day, right?
That's right.
And if you're Chris Christie's niece, it can get even worse.
Yeah, you can get away with it.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of an LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser-cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday host and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Well, that's your mile high crime for today.
Well, folks, I've been holding this one for a couple of days because Woody was busy with his board battle, so we never really celebrated President's Day on the show. So we're going to do that today.
They should make President's Day like a full-blown holiday.
I think it is.
Like you get off work and shit?
No.
It's not like the 4th of July.
Well, it used to be, but I noticed banks were open yesterday.
My son had classes. I'm like,
Yeah,
what do you mean you have
my
classes?
my kids were in
Right.
class. Yeah.
I mean, I think this is like a holiday in name only now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how that happened. It used to be you got way back when you got both Lincoln and Washington's birthday off. Then they combined it into this one President's Day, and now whatever. But anyway, let's see how well you guys know your presidents. I think Woody's still got his winning streak intact here. So,
It's about to
did you win
end.
the last one? You just win all the bets, the football bets.
Yeah, I'm a loser.
Okay, we got about 12 questions. Same thing as usual. I got multiple choice, but if you think you know the answer, hit the table early.
Who here in this room's ever been to an inaugural ball?
Really?
For the president?
Who's-
Oh, I've
who's
never done
inaugural
one
ball?
for
Did
the
you go?
president.
Well, I can't tell you about that. I have to kill you.
Lincoln. You're right.
Yeah, I was at Lincoln's.
It's classified.
It was classified.
I made Lincoln's. Okay, question number 1. Which founding father and future U.S. president wrote the first draft of the Declaration of Independence?
Thomas Jefferson.
Right out of the bat, Jim nails
It
one
won't be the last.
without even needing the multiple
My
choice.
subject.
I ate in the basement where they planned Lincoln's assassination at the Chinese place in D.C. That's the best fucking Chinese food in the world.
Damn.
Sorry.
So
They
John Wilkes
that building where they planned it before that they did the assassination.
of Lincoln, I thought it was John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, it was no.
He had accomplices?
Oh hell yeah, he had accomplices. They planned it. They hunted them all down. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember. Was 4 of them?
Yeah.
All right, question 2. Lady Bird was the nickname for the white.
Lyndon Johnson.
Good one.
Ooh, we're not needing any of these multiple choices. 1-1. In 1814, what U.S. structure was burned to the ground by British troops?
The White House.
Woody. Again, 2-1 Woody. Not having to go to the multiple choices yet. Martha Dandridge Custis is the wife of which?
George Washington.
George and Martha.
That's right.
Jim, man, you guys are impressive on your presidential knowledge.
Pressing myself.
Okay. What kind of crop did President Jimmy Carter get?
Peanuts.
Woody.
Damn, I wouldn't have known that one.
His brother
Peanut.
like
I
Shiner
really,
Black
wanted
beer.
to, I really wanted to get to the
I'm
multiple
thinking of
choice
George
there,
Washington
but
Carter.
My first
Peanut
choice,
to peanut.
My first choice was marijuana. So what do we got? We got
George
three-
Washington used to
three-
grow hemp.
Marijuana.
3-2 Woody.
George
Good
Washington.
chance.
George Washington used to grow hemp.
Okay, 3-2 Woody. Question 6. Which U.S. president's favorite saying was "Speak softly and carry it"?
Roosevelt. Franklin.
Incorrect.
Teddy.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Can't guess.
Theodore
Can't
Roosevelt.
guess twice.
I was going to say, but
Okay,
Theodore
Woody
Roosevelt.
gets it. It's Teddy Roosevelt. So it's 4-2. Right last name, wrong guy. Next question. Which president was a commanding general during World War II?
Ulysses Grant.
During World War II? Okay.
I know it
That
is.
would be an incorrect answer. Jim, I'm going to give you the multiple choices. Was it
damn.
A,
I already know it.
Dwight Eisenhower?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
agree.
was. So it's 4-3.
Hey, Grant, for the record, was a commanding general during Civil
Yeah,
War.
just a few years.
And then the
earlier.
president.
Different war.
What did the S stand for in Ulysses S. Grant? Nothing. It was just an S.
He was
Really?
He was a drunkard.
He has a great
Before
life
he
story.
came
I have
back.
his
I
book
read
in
the
there.
book. Yeah, let me see.
Okay. With a difference of only 113,000 votes, which is the closest presidential election in history, was it
Lincoln.
incorrect?
I'm listening.
Was it A, George H. Bush versus Al Gore? B, Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump?
Hey, quit. It's Al Gore. Bush and Gore.
I tricked you.
Hanging Chads.
I
remember
tricked you.
that.
Yeah, but that was Florida. It was close in Florida, but it wasn't that close overall.
So what was it?
The closest election in history was actually Richard Nixon versus John F. Kennedy.
Really?
I didn't know that. Learned
Yeah,
something
I
new
knew it
every
was
day.
close, but I thought Gore was
113,000
close.
votes, so it's still 4-3. Okay. In the 2000 movie, The American President, Michael Douglas plays the president. What actress played his lobbyist girlfriend? Was it A, Margot Robbie, B, Jennifer Connelly, C, Sigourney Weaver?
Sigourney Weaver.
That is an incorrect answer. Or D, Annette Bening.
D. Annette Bening.
Yeah,
It was Annette Bening. and
Definitely
it
Annette
is-
Bening.
It is 4-4.
definitely.
Okay. This one I did not know. Which two former presidents died hours apart from each other on July 4th, 1826? Was it A, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, B, Thomas Jefferson and James Monroe, C, Barack Obama and Donald Trump?
Jefferson Monroe.
Jefferson and Monroe is an incorrect answer.
Just narrowed it down for you.
D, James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. So is it?
D.
That is an incorrect answer. It is John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. So the second and third president of the United States died on the 4th of July of 18.
Within hours of each other.
Within hours of each other. It's crazy.
They must have been partying.
Okay, so you guys are tied. We got one more question and a bonus. So let's see what we got. Who served as vice president during George H.W. Bush's presidency?
Al Gore.
That's an incorrect answer. That's a Democrat who would not have been a Republican's vice president. But,
Dick Cheney.
okay, was it A, Walter Mondale, B, Ronald Reagan, C, Dan Quayle, or D, John McCain?
Dan Quayle.
Dan Quayle. Yeah.
It was
Damn, I should have waited.
infamous Dan Quayle. Yeah, I can't believe you blew it on that one. Jim wins, so we don't even need the bonus, but here's the bonus.
There you go.
Here's the bonus. The four presidents with their faces carved into the Mount Rushmore National Memorial are. You got all four?
Yep.
Go for it, Jim.
You have Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
You have George Washington. You have Roosevelt.
Which one?
I hate when you ask me which one. Teddy.
And
You have Roosevelt, Washington, Lincoln, and the fourth is Jefferson.
bingo. Jim gets the bonus. Yes.
I've actually been there. Good job.
Have you?
Yankton, South Dakota.
Yep.
Wow.
There just to see it.
Jim with a big comeback there.
Very good, John.
Thank you.
Jim knows his
I'll
presidents.
soak in my glory for one day until the next one when Woody spanks me into submission.
All right, boys. With the you got something else?
I'm just waiting for some banjos to close out
Oh,
my
sorry.
game.
Banjos. Man, we had to come up with a new one for games.
Yeah.
Well, I like to surprise you with the game so you don't know what I'm going to hit.
This is true.
Yeah.
But you guys did well on that. You didn't need the multiple choice. I made
Did
this
better than I thought.
We're
I was
history
gonna
I
do.
was
buffs,
making
yeah.
those kind of hard
Better than I
too.
thought I was going to do.
Any final thoughts? What do you ever?
Yeah, I don't want to say the tough stuff, right? The officers being killed,
Yeah.
firefighter being killed, another officer being killed, another tragic shooting. Let's you say 22 something kids were injured in that
23
shooting.
other people were shot. Not all of them were kids, but many.
Well, I mean, and then the disc jockey and
Tough stories.
tough times. But you know, it's real life, real crime, and it's the world we live in. And I don't know,
Mike.
These cops, man. I mean,
I don't know how they're gonna feel.
they got tough jobs, and there are less of them doing it. And
I don't know how they gonna do it.
It's never been more dangerous for them. And you know, God, I don't know what it would take, but I don't think you could pay me enough.
Yeah.
But they're certainly not paying them enough.
No,
What's
no.
going to happen in another 20 years? Nobody wants to do it.
Right. Well, just in Louisiana, the governor said we're 1,800 police officers short, just in the state of Louisiana.
1,300 of those are just sheriff's deputies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adams in New York wants to offer the illegals the opportunity to become police officers.
God.
Are you freaking kidding me? They're the ones running around on mopeds robbing people. I mean, we have lost our minds.
Well,
it's bad.
love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thanks for tuning in and liking and sharing and listening. Y'all continue sending your stories. We like to cover them. Like I got to hear the one from Moore, Oklahoma, where the toys have been delivered by.
That's right.
What do you call those things? Not hovercraft.
Oh,
Drones.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the guy that was putting antiques up his ass got caught.
Yeah, I saw the kill stories.
Spring, Texas.
Yeah. Hey, shout out
So
to
he got
the listeners.
let that be a lesson. Don't stick antiques up your ass.
Right.
But the good news is Olaf from Frozen is doing much better.
I had never seen that. I heard y'all talk about that.
He's getting therapy, and he's going to come out of it okay.
Very good. Very good. All right. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agavino.
For Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.
Glad.
Shop early, save big, all month long during Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Right now, get select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at just $59.98. Don't wait to save. Shop these deals today, in-store or online, because Lowe's knows deals. Discount taken at time of purchase while supplies last. Selection varies by location.